Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Um, as y'all know, I always say that I've always been looking into the brain. Research is a heavy word because research you got to like go to the actual um, libraries of the colleges, or you have to have access to certain stuff that you can't get. But I've been diving deep into my studies. That's what I'll say, into my studies on the brain since 2015, trying to figure out why people treat certain people the way they do, and why people, why we are the way we are. A lot of people are messaging me about the post I made about Juneteenth and people deciding that it's not about Black people, or it's not about race, or people have it different. And I will say this: I learned from my studies about the brain that everyone, 99.9999999% of the world, only see the world through their lens. You, the very few 0.1% are people who have actually traveled several different places and several different countries and lived, not just gone vacationing, but actually lived and had to take on other people's customs and how they do things and live amongst others. I say that to say this: if you have an issue with someone who always treats you bad, it's never going to change. I put up all of that information for you to study for yourself. The Bible says, study to show thyself approved unto God, workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And that is not just for the Bible, that's for anything. You want to make sure that you cement in your brain that that person will never change. Once a person gets a pass on mistreating you, they they have then formed new neural pathways. They have then shaped their brain to know that when they see your face, they can mistreat you. I need y'all to, I'm going to say that again. Once a person gets a pass for mistreating you, they then, and I'm looking in the camera now, looking in the camera lens, they then form different parts of their brain, instantly form. And so it it creates, like, I don't know if it is the neural pathways and synapses, but certain things happen in their brain that tells them that when they see your face, they can treat you the way they treated you, and they will get away with it. Now, we have to understand that the only thing that runs these bodies, let's say you're not a religious person and you don't believe in nothing spiritual, you do not believe there is a God. Let's say you are a religious person, but you don't believe in spirituality. Let's say you are a spiritual person and you don't believe in religiousness, or somebody who doesn't believe that there's a God. The one thing we all can agree on is that the brain runs the body. Let y'all sit with that for a minute. The brain runs the body. And we are nothing but a sum of the things that we saw happening as our brain, all the way up until the age 25, when the brain completely cemented. So when you allow yourself to deal with people who mistreated you and got away with it, and you forgave them for it, the only thing they're going to do is keep repeating those habits. Their brain, when they see you, has told them that they have the right to treat you in that manner. Their brain will never change that. When they see you, that's the reason why. And in order to get to the words I typed, don't try to look at it through the video, find the post on my page and you can copy that stuff and share this video. But people's brains, when we bring up racism, everybody goes, oh no, I'm not a racist. Because they see racists as people who hang black people, who call them the N-words, who beat them, who mistreat them, who spit on them. But racism is inside of the psyche, and it has been embedded in there since someone up until the age of 25. If you grew up and you did not grow up with black teachers, with a black pastor, everywhere you went, you did not see black people, 9 times out of 10, you're a racist. You just have to confront it and get away from it. I always use Laura McDonald as my example. That woman is not a racist. She shops at black. She spends her money, her hard-earned money, at black places. And I'm not reading any comments right now because I have to get this out. But she spends her hard-earned money with black-owned businesses, at black salons. She makes sure that she uses her voice. How do you know someone isn't racist? They will stand on the front lines and their entire approach. Every time you talk to them, if they're not black, they're going to be talking about how black people is treated. The injustices. Their social media says it. Their life says it. Their words. People are uncomfortable around them because they know they're going to bring it up. But once again, when we let people mistreat us and then they get away with it, they then cement in their brains that it's okay. So when we address racism, they say, I'm not a racist, or that's not true, or everything's about race. It has been so cemented in people's brains about this, and they have gotten away with it, that their brain has formed, literally their brain has formed that racism isn't real, even though it's everywhere and you see it every day and you know people in power who do things. The very people who looked down on black Americans, we're seeing this everywhere. Black Americans will admit this. The Caribbeans, the Hispanic and Latinos, the immigrants, and the white people, the very people who look down on black Americans are now, they used your hate against you to put you in a trick bag. And now a lot of people are asking for our help. And we're like, no, we was trying to tell y'all. But everybody's answer was, no, I'm not a racist. But it should have been overwhelmingly, not just from this administration. We cannot blame the state of our country on this administration. It goes all the way back to when Shirley Chisholm ran for president. When you excuse people's behavior, negative actions against you, you then tell them that what they do to you is okay. They then see you, and when they look at you, either they look at a group of us, black people, or they look at us individuals. Their brain has been formed that their actions and their thinking is fine and there's nothing wrong with it. And you're the wrong one for the way you're reacting. Hopefully, y'all can spread this message. Hopefully, the people who see it and do not want to be that way can go within and root out all of that stuff that is wrong. Hopefully, because I'm seeing a lot of people say, we need the Black Americans to help us now. But you weren't actively helping us like Laura McDonald from Kansas City, Missouri was actively helping us. Like Reverend Sam Mann from Kansas City, Missouri was actively helping us. You were not doing that. This country can never stand with division. I'm going to say it again. A house divided against itself cannot stand. It will always crumble and fall. So when we as Black people excused the behavior of all others, Black Americans, we excuse the behavior because I've heard Black immigrants say some horrible crap about us until them white folks showed them how Black they truly was. All of a sudden I've never experienced racism until now, and I'm so sorry. We've been dealing with this since the womb. We used to white folks. Y'all ain't. Y'all thought y'all had a pass. So that's the reason why I put the things that I've been studying about the brain on this live. That's the reason why I did that. I want you all to go in and I want you all to read that stuff. And I even made ChatGPT cite its sources. The first part is me talking to ChatGPT. And then ChatGPT kicked out all that other stuff because it's too much for me to. I should have been writing down everything I'm reading at the libraries and stuff, but I just get the books and But ChatGPT gave y'all some real good sources because every book that they cited, I've read. Every study that they've cited, I've read. But I need everyone to understand this on this Juneteenth weekend. Because remember, Mississippi just abolished slavery in 2013. It's on my page. Y'all don't see it. I highlighted the post. I didn't put a picture on there on purpose because I wanted people to read what it says. Mississippi just abolished slavery in 2013. And people are going to convince me that this United States, non-Black Americans are not insidiously racist. Look around your neighborhood. Look around your churches. Look around your neighborhood and look around your churches. Look around where you go shopping. Look around your religious institution. Look around where you send your children to school. How many Black people? Because there's more than enough of us for us to be sprinkled everywhere. And you should know more than what you can ever count. But we have excused the bad behaviors of others for so long that it is insidious that no, y'all's problems aren't worse than mine. Y'all's problems aren't worse than ours. But I tell people all the time, you can take the lowest of the low white man. He can be a meth addict. He can be all kinds of addict. And you can send him to the Union Hall. And then you can take a young Black man who just came out of school with straight A's and put them both, and this has happened, and put them both in the operators union. And that meth addict is going to be using the all of the heavy equipment while the young Black boy sits at home. He won't be called up to use the heavy equipment. If we could literally, for real, pull those numbers, y'all would see. Just drive by a construction site. How many Black people do you see? Go to trucking companies that are not Black owned and not mega companies. How many Black people do you see? Go to warehouses. And I promise you this one thing, I've seen the back side and the front side. And they might have a warehouse full of Black people in the back. And when I walk to the front to get my paperwork, they'll have Mexicans, they'll have Asians, they'll have Middle Easterners, they'll have every type of immigrant walking. Ain't a black face in sight. The racism is insidious. 29 years in this game. And all 29 years, I've never seen racism not exist. All 29 years, I've had people, 45, Trump's first 4 years, people wasn't calling me the N-word. They was opening doors, they was being nice, all of that. It wasn't until January 6th that I had issues again. But when he was in office that first time, I was in traffic, I was like, wow, I ain't been called the, because I was used to being called the N-word. Just because people felt like it. Grandmas, grandpas, men in suits, Mexicans, Asians, South Americans. I even got called one by an African. I laughed. I was like, you the original one. So that one was funny to me. I was like, what? You didn't realize what you just said to me? You the original N-word. You and your mama. Yeah, I went there. But we have to remember that whatever is put in your brain, the reason why black people are so welcoming, the reason why we accept anybody and do anything for anybody is because from our womb, we've always dealt with other races. From our womb. We don't have exclusive communities. You can't go to a town and ain't no black people there. You can't get away, ain't no other people. We are integrated with the world. That being said, like I said, this is my message to you all. In order to combat racism, you have to start with understanding that how people are allowed to get away with doing things to you is how their brain will cement that it's okay to interact with you in less than favorable ways. Whether or not they do that same thing, their brain has now formed and cemented in a way that when they see you or when they see anyone that looks like you, they're going to do things or say things that are painful or hurtful to you. Now, it's up to you of what you're going to do with that. No more accepting racism. Call it out to its face. Y'all take care.